A cat nap.
To sleep or doze for a short time. To sleep or doze for a short time. For example, if I could a little cat nap, I think I would feel much better.
A cat in gloves catches no mice.
If you are too polite or careful, you might not achieve what you want. For example, James, I have hinted to Pete several times that I need him to pay me the money he owes, but he just ignores me. Luke, a cat in gloves catches no mice, James. Tell him bluntly that you need the money immediately.
A scaredy cat.
A person who is very scared or easily frightened. For example, Joe Ann called Gary a scaredy cat because he didn't want to see a clown at all.
All cats are gray at night.
In the dark of night, appearances or physical attributes are unimportant. For example, Sarah, I can't believe you're going on a date with someone you've never met before. What if you don't think he's attractive? Zoe, all cats are gray at night. It will be fine, Sarah.
As conceited as a barber's cat.
Someone who has a high opinion of themselves or their importance. Very narcissistic or vain. For example, don't invite Julie to lunch unless you want to hear her brag about all the important things she's doing in her new job. She's just as conceited as a barber's cat lately.
Busier than a one-eyed cat watching to mouse holes.
A person is extremely busy, almost frantic. For example, Jeremy is busier than a one-eyed cat, watching to mouse holes.
Busier than a three-legged cat in a dry sandbox.
Hectic to the point of being frantic. For example, Jason is busier than a three-legged cat in a dry sandbox.
The cat's pajamas.
A highly admired or exceptionally excellent person or thing. For example, Gina's new hairdo is so creative. This stylish has a touch that is just the cat's pajamas, so pretty.
Cat's meow.
Something outstanding or excellent. For example, Diana's new Cadillac is really the cat's meow.
Cool cat.
Talking about someone who is very calm, cool, and usually a male. For example, Mario is a cool cat. I really like him.
Cool cat.
Someone, usually a man, who is regarded as hip and cool. For example, their guitar player is one cool cat.
A copycat.
A person who imitates or mimics the traits, behavior, actions of someone or something else. For example, me. I know you're just being a copycat to annoy me. My friend. I know you're just being a copycat to annoy me. My friend is such a copycat. No matter what I do, he always tries to do the same thing.
Curiosity killed the cat.
Should take care to look into something too profoundly, especially when it extends to things one does not need to know about. For example, he knows curiosity killed the cat, but he can't stop the investigation until he knows where the donations are really going.
Dog my cats.
An expression of astonishment and a mild, inoffensive oath. For example, Val, dog my cats, Leo. You scared me. I didn't think anyone was home.
Enough to make a cat laugh.
Something is very funny and very outlandish or outrageous. For example, Billy, oh please, that will never happen. Your idea is enough to make a cat laugh.
Fat cat.
Describing such a person or the condition of being. Wealthy and successful. For example, that's a fat cat kind of house. Something we middle-class people can only dream about.
Fight like cats and dogs.
To be continually fighting or arguing with someone. For example, my brother and I were very close in age, and we used to fight like cat and dog.
Fight like cats and dogs.
Frequently have violent arguments or fights with each other. For example, they had fought like cat and dog ever since he could remember, and one of them wondered how they'd managed to stay together.
Grin like a Cheshire cat.
To smile broadly in a very self-satisfied way. For example, most of them knew David had a prank planned for April Fool's Day when he arrived at work grinning like a Cheshire cat.
Has the cat got your tongue?
Someone who has very little to say for themselves should be saying something. For example, Justin, has the cat got your tongue? Can't you even say hello?
To have kittens.
A dramatic way of describing how frightened or upset you have been. For example, Ricky's mother nearly had kittens when he said he was going to buy a motorbike.
Hellcat.
A fiery, ill-tempered person. For example, one of the sisters is said to be a hellcat, and the other is as sweet as can be.
Keep no more cats, then we'll catch mice.
A way of saying that you should be efficient, be minimalistic. For example, people don't know why he has 2 cars. On the other side, his brother always tried to keep no more cats than can catch mice.
Let the cat out of the bag.
Indicates that a person has inadvertently revealed a secret. For example, how did Mom find out? We were planning a surprise holiday for her, who let the cat out of the bag.
Like a cat on a hot tin roof.
A person who is agitated, highly nervous, fidgety, anxious, restless, and unable to sit still or relax. For example, the siblings were so worked up with excitement that they were like cats on a hot tin roof all afternoon.
Like herding cats.
Very unwieldy or unmanageable. Nearly impossible to organize or control, usually said of a group of people. For example, it felt like herding cats. Getting all of the family members into their right places for the reunion photo.
Look like the cat that got the cream.
Extremely happy or satisfied, or in a very happy or satisfied way. For example, Angel looks like the cat that got the cream by hearing the good news from her friends.
No room to swing a cat.
Very little or no space, very cramped quarters or proximity. For example, many families are forced to live in tiny apartments that have no room to swing a cat.
Not have a cat in hell's chance.
To have absolutely no prospect of doing something, or no chance at all. For example, you have not got a cat in hell's chance of buying a decent car for that amount.
Play cat and mouse.
To be coy and evasive with someone. For example, Daniel, I know what you are up to. Don't play cat and mouse with me.
Pussyfooting around.
Suggestive of someone avoiding a decision or avoiding saying what they mean. For example, Arnold had a chance to take over the business for himself if he hadn't kept pussyfooting around.
See which way the cat jumps.
Delay making a decision or taking action on something until you know how the situation will develop. For example, Michael is not going to do anything for a while. Just sit tight and see which way the cat jumps.
Look like the cat that swallowed the canary.
To appear smug or overly pleased with oneself to others, especially over something one has done, received, or accomplished. For example, after her promotion, Jessica spent the rest of the day looking like the cat that swallowed the canary.
Look what the cat dragged in.
To announce someone's arrival and suggest that the person has a messy or otherwise disheveled physical appearance. For example, when Alice came in soaking wet from the rain, Selena laughed and said, "Look what the cat dragged in."
There is more than one way to skin a cat.
There are many alternative ways of achieving something. For example, our first approach didn't work, but we'll figure out some other way. There is more than one way to skin a cat.
To bell a cat.
An impossible task or take a risk. For example, your suggestion is very good, Hannah. Now the problem is who is going to bell the cat.
To put a cat among the pigeons.
A way of saying someone has created an upset or a disturbance. For example, once again Robert set the cat among the pigeons, claiming that Mickey was lying.
Walk like a cat on eggs.
Taking great care and consideration in an activity. For example, everyone hate it when they have to walk on eggshells around Noah in order not to get him annoyed.
Wanton kittens make sober cats.
One who behaves wildly in youth often shows more restraint in adulthood. For example, we wouldn't worry too much about our son's interest in partying. Wanton kittens make sober cats most of the time.
Weak as a kitten.
Especially weak, feeble, and vulnerable. Completely unable to defend oneself. For example, Jerry's always been as weak as a kitten.
While the cat's away, the mice will play.
When no one in authority is present, the subordinates can do as they please. For example, Katie, you shouldn't meditate at your desk. Ben, but the boss isn't here, and when the cat's away, the mice will play.